Hey guys, welcome to one of our how-to videos on how to brew the Bodum Santos vacuum brewer. So, first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself started with some freshly ground coffee, ground anywhere between cone and French. It's going to be dependent on the flavor or body style you're looking for on coffee, whether you're looking for something a little more crisp or a little something perhaps a little bit more richer, a little more syrupy. So again, the body will be a lot more silkier versus something that's real clean and almost paper filtered. So first thing I did is I got my grind. Next thing I got my water going. If you wanted to, you can get yourself pre-set up with some preheated water. I went ahead and preheated my water with the Hario kettle and then just added it to the bottom chamber. Progressively, as the water begins to heat, what's going to happen is vapors are going to begin to build inside the bottom chamber and push the water through the middle cylinder and bring it up to the top. It's already starting to come up to the top area, so as soon as that does, I'm going to go ahead and add my my coffee into it. Recommendation again is 2 tablespoons of coffee for 6 ounces of water. When you have your coffee grounds added to the top chamber, when all of your water is to the top, you're going to want to use a stir. Preferably use something that isn't going to be metallic, because you run the risk of potentially cracking your top chamber, and the last thing you want to do is break this guy. So again, as soon as that happens, one of the telltale signs you want to be real careful is when this water is coming up. Be careful to keep an eye on your water level on the bottom. You always want to make sure you maintain a little bit of water at the bottom on the bottom chamber. That will prevent the bottom glass from shattering. Because the last thing you want to do is for that thing to pop on you. So you can see the water's basically about halfway split right now. So we'll go ahead and give it a little time. So just a little something about the coffee I'm using. I'm using the Pizza Italian roast. This particular coffee is one of my favorite coffees. I enjoy the darkness in the roast style. It comes off a lot more syrupy to me. The flavor is very rich and chocolatey. I enjoy the fact that the coffee is not overly acidic, so it's nice that it's got like a real mildness to it. So for someone who's looking for something that's perhaps a little sweet, it works out great as an espresso. So currently we just started to introduce the Pizza Italian roast on our Tuesday espresso bar. So if you come into the store, you can come and give it a try. So the water is now currently brought to the top chamber. It's now beginning to boil a little bit. So I'm going to add my coffee grinds. Again, give it a little stir. Make sure that all your grinds are fully saturated. And then after that process going, you're going to want to set a timer for roughly about 45 seconds. It's mostly going to be dependent on, again, the grind setting. If you're doing something that's closer to a French press grind, you may want to consider letting it sit up in the top chamber for just a little bit longer. But if you noticed, I added my grinds later. The reason why you would want to do that is because anytime you can help to reduce the contact that your grinds are going to have with a heat source, the better, because you don't want any sort of added variables going into the flavor of your coffee. So we got about another 10 seconds or so. I'd recommend go ahead and putting your lid on there. The purpose of adding the lid on there is that it's going to begin to create that vacuum. So the vacuum is going to be something that is what is going to eventually bring your coffee back down to your bottom chamber. So when that time hits and you're ready to pull your coffee, go ahead and stop your heat source. And for the sake of helping this thing cool down faster, you're going to want to actually transfer this to a cool area for it to sit. So it's a little warm. So it'll take a second, but eventually when this water begins to, actually it's already beginning to do it now, And so the vacuum process will begin to suck it all down to the bottom. The middle chamber, the middle between the two chambers, there's a filter in there. Some of them do come with an actual like a fiber filter that will help to keep that sediment out. This one happens to be just a plastic one, but it's more than enough to keep anything from going down to the bottom. At the very end, you should see one last little kind of spurt of coffee going down. That will essentially tell you that your coffee is ready to go. So it should be about another second. Okay, it looks like that's about it. The great thing about the Santos brewer is that it comes with a little holder plate. So when you're done, after your chambers cool down, you can go ahead and remove your top chamber and set the cylinder right into this. So let's go ahead and give it a second to cool down. And when you're done, okay, go ahead and pour yourself a little cup. And enjoy the flavors of Pete's coffees. Probably not a good idea to drink it right away because it is pretty hot, but again, it's delicious. The flavor's great. It's crisp. It's clean. Totally recommend giving it a try. It's not the process is not for everybody. It's definitely more of an entertainment kind of brew process. Something that you could do. It's like it's a good talker. So when you're hanging out with your buddies, your friends, it's really fun to brew itself. So again, any questions? Go ahead and leave some comments for me, and I'll be happy to answer anything. That's pretty much it. Thanks again, guys. Again, remember to visit us on Pete's Tuscan Crossing on Facebook, and I will again hope to see you then. Alright guys, thanks.